Merry Christmas, everyone. Hi, it's your girl, Millie Mills, host of the show Bring It in the House, where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. Get your meal. I'm so excited today. I have a colleague. We went to school together, college, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, UAPB, Golden Lions, whoop, whoop, in the house. She's an author, educator, beautiful mom, wife, Delta Sigma Theta, I believe.
Yes.
All of that and more.
Mhm.
Give it up for Latanya Richardson. Hey,
Thank
Latanya,
you.
it's so good to see you. You
Glad to
look
be
great.
seen.
Yes, you look so beautiful.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays to you and your beautiful family.
Thank you. Same to you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. We go way back, all the way to
Yeah.
UAPB, HBCU graduate. So, Latanya, when we were in school, I had no idea that you were, going to go into the field of communication. I didn't know you were going to be an author. I didn't know any of that. We were just all trying to get through just get through our
Yeah.
classes. So even back then, Latanya, did you know you're going to become this fabulous educator, author that you are today?
I had no plans to be an educator at all. At all. So when I went to UAPB or came to UAPB, I was always interested in writing. And was interested in majoring in journalism, but they didn't have a journalism program initially. So what they did have was English, theater, and mass communication. So that was the route I took. And at that time, mass communication was all about TV and radio, and that was it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So my concentration was television. And after graduating, well, while there, I learned a lot about television from concept to completion, from what is it, producing and writing, script writing, editing, all of that. So, and after graduation, I got a job at UAPB and worked in the television studio and did all of that from concept to completion for a number of years. And then once I obtained my master's, I started teaching. But initially, like I said, um, I wanted to produce television. After I had my daughter and we got married, I realized news didn't happen, and I wanted to do the behind the scenes of news, but I realized news didn't happen between 8 and 5, and there was not a between 8 and 5 news show. So news happens at certain times, and in between, you have to go get the news. It doesn't come
That's
to
right.
you. If a house fire, a house catches fire and you have to cover it or write about it. It doesn't wait to 8 to 5 to catch on fire. It's whenever the fire is. So I decided that probably wasn't for me. So working in the television on campus was perfect, you know, 8 to 5. But well, then it became more than 8 to 5. But I enjoyed it.
Yes, yes. And you are so right. News is 24/7. Something is always happening. And that's
Yes.
another reason I didn't go that route. I did an internship at KATV Channel 7 in Little Rock while I was a student in college at UAPB. And when I saw that the news was going nonstop, and then there was always something bad happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
They very seldom feature, positive things. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know if this is for me.
Yeah.
So I do get that. I understand it wholeheartedly. And look at you now. You've gone on and you got your master's in what
Journalism.
field?
Journalism.
Journalism. Okay, so you got it back to back. You got the
Well,
communication.
it was 7 years after graduating. I
Mhm.
just happened to hear on the radio. I was listening to the radio, and I think I was driving somewhere, and they said, UALR was looking for minorities, and I wouldn't have to take the GRE. So I jumped on it, and it was like that was for me. It was almost like it was meant for me to hear that day, which it was. But
Mhm.
and I jumped on it. So getting my master's, and that got me to thinking about teaching, which was, you know, which was the next step, I guess, because I was at UAPB and dealing with students in a laboratory sense. But after I received my master's, I was able to teach full time.
Amazing, amazing. And you've been teaching now how many years, Latanya?
About 21, 22 years now.
Oh,
Yeah.
a
Yes.
lot of experience under your belt.
And it's almost like, where did the time go? Yeah.
Where did it go? And that's how it is when you enjoy what you do. I'm sure you love it.
I do. I do. Sometimes more than others, but I enjoy it. And it's been really good for me. It has really been, um, it allowed me to be there for my children as they were growing up, because my children are multiple sport athletes and we have five. So multiple sport athletes, and everyone, we went from one sport to the next. And oftentimes several were playing sports at the same time, same season or the same type of sport, like on different teams. If it was softball and baseball season, there was one time during softball and baseball season that at Seabrook where they played, my son was on one ball field, had one playing t-ball on another field, and the others playing eight and up on another field. So I sat like in between in the little walkway, and was so I can see as they were coming up to bat and they were outfield. And then my older daughter was in the band at the time, so we run, get through and run and go pick her up or take her where she needed to be. It was nonstop.
Woo, that's a lot. That's a lot dealing with fire. And I'm sure your husband, he helped
Yes.
when he could.
Yes, and he was on the road working on the road. So when he came home, he would be out for so many days and at home for so many days. And he was not just like up the street; he was like a couple states away. So and when he was here, it was juggling all together. And then he finally got off the road. Then he could help with juggling everyone together. But I mean, I wouldn't have had it any other way.
And what does he do?
He works for the railroad.
Okay. Because I heard you say he's on the road and off the road. So
Mhm.
we got to give him his props as well. So that is so beautiful. You guys made that thing work, and you have 5 beautiful children now. And you shared with me before we started the interview that you have some grandkids too.
Yes, eight grandchildren.
8 grandkids. That is so beautiful. And you shared some pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some of the pictures of, look at that beauty.
This is
Nothing.
Zoe.
Sabui?
Zoe.
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 Okay. Of course. And she's gorgeous. All that beautiful hair. She's beautiful. And these here, your
That's
grandson.
Trent and Jericho. That's my son's two boys.
Oh.
And that's me and Miss Riley Pie. Her name is Riley, and I like to call her Riley Pie. She's that little diva.
Yeah, that face, I'm sure, just gets you every time.
Mhm.
So beautiful.
And he's the baby of the bunch. P.O. is what I call him. His middle name is P.O., but his name is Zaire, and he's the baby, my son's baby. He's the baby of the whole clan.
Of the whole clan. I can't miss her with all this hair.
Nadia, she's the oldest of my son's children.
She's the oldest. Oh. And here's a beautiful group picture here of your daughter and her
And
children.
that's my daughter and her 2 children.
Look at that. There's so much to be thankful for. I'm sure you guys have big celebrations during the holidays.
Yes, and when we're all together, it's fun nonstop. When the pandemic first hit,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone was talking about being isolated, away from everyone, and being, um, you know, not a good time to be by themselves or whatever, our it's like our party never stopped. Our
Yeah.
grandchildren were always with us because my son and his wife worked,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working from home. So it was, there were 5 of them then. The baby had not been born. So we just had a party with ourselves all the time, from blowing bubbles outside. I think it was someone's birthday. It was Zoe's birthday, and we were in the bounce house, with the water, and it was just us. So, and doing the fires by the fire pit and roasting marshmallows. Always, and that's the way it was with when my children were coming up. We always had other kids and they would say they enjoy coming to our house. So I mean, we always had other kids at our house.
all the time, and that just so that makes it better. That's
Yeah.
that unity comes together, in a time like that. That is so beautiful. Now we talked about all of your success at UAPB, and then your mother, your beautiful mom, grandma. On top of that, you are a published, renowned author. That is worth to be commended.
Well, thank you. I
Commended.
don't know about renown. I hope to get there, but published it.
Well, I think you're renowned because I see some of your books on social media, like this one. I believe this is your latest.
Yes, it released today. No, yes, it released today. That was book two in a series. It released today.
Congratulations.
Hmm.
I gotta get my copy. You have so many books. I want that one. I want this one. I want that one. I don't
And
know
they're
what.
all available on Amazon.
They're all on Amazon. And here's the next one.
Yeah. And that's the first book in the series. It's a second chance series, and it
Mm-hmm.
started with a table set for two, and then today the newest book. Then there were two, which is the short stories, actually.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. And your books are available on Amazon and wherever books are sold online, I'm sure.
Right. Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me pull up the Amazon link. I know you have a page here, and this is if anybody can see that, that's Miss Richardson's Amazon page. You can go to her personal page, you can look at all her work, all her books, and you can make your purchase today. She's one of the
Yes.
best minority authors out there today, and her books touch on some really profound things. Brings healing. Your books bring about healing. It brings a lot of clarity. Where do you get your inspiration from, Latanya?
Well, from just day to day things, often when in my classes, the one of the classes I've taught is in the journalism program is a writing program, writing features and editorials. And we would do an exercise on finding ideas. And I think that's one of the biggest things to, if you're going to write, whether it's a news article, a blog post, a book, you have to have an idea. So, and oftentimes people don't know what to write about. So we would do exercises about finding ideas. And one of the exercises we do was I tell them instead of going home the way they do all the time, take a
Mm-hmm.
different route and see something, or be on the lookout for something that they've never seen before. And so that might spark an idea. And from that spark, I like to do what do you call the word map, or from one idea, and keep writing until you come up with an idea or another idea. um, Generating exercise that I like to do is just going to Walmart or something, and you listen or watch people. I love people watching, and try to figure out. You see people try to figure out what's going on with them, how people interact with each other, or how they, if someone's upset, how they're walking, and trying to think in my mind, okay, so what is going on with them? And I've also written a couple of children's books, and children are the biggest inspiration sometimes, and even animals. But when it comes to children, things they do, like whenever kids get new shoes, how they want to run real fast, jump up,
Yeah.
you know, ideas come from just watching people going places and doing things you haven't done before, or seeing something new or different. And especially the going a different route home, you do be surprised at things that you may have missed, or just keeping your eyes open on your regular route home. The things that you miss day to day, just driving or walking or whatever, and walking past things, driving past things that have been there. One day, going home, going to work on my regular route, I go over this overpass, and in Pine Bluff, there's a lot of trains and train tracks. So, Ben, my husband is a track inspector.
Okay.
And it is one of the tracks I think he has inspected, or he does inspect, or he did inspect. Um, I came home one day and I asked, I said, "Hey, there's a train that's been there. I noticed it there when I went to work and was there that morning." My husband said, "Where have you been? That train has been there for 3 weeks. There had been a derailment." So 3 weeks, a train being there. eh, And I started thinking, so what would make that train derail? Why is it there? And if I was thinking of a story, I would start, things in my mind, whether it was, an emergency or, a traumatic experience, and start making up little things. And there you go with an idea and the whole story.
Whole story. And it kind of runs parallel with our lives,
Hmm.
so to speak.
Yeah.
While you were saying that, I was thinking about trains getting derailed, just like we can get derailed
Yeah.
in our, experiences in lives, careers,
Yeah.
or personal relationships. Things can get derailed. So I'm always tying something kind of spiritual. That's where I get my inspiration when I'm writing. I kind of always kind of look at how it aligns with us, with as humans. So it was
Yeah.
very interesting as you were saying, you took notice that, hey, that train's been there.
Mhm.
Wonder why, you know.
Yeah.
So you had my mind going, tick, 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 tick.
And sometimes, if you have a cough and you think, okay, I'm sick, and it could be this and it could be that. And the same with an idea. It could be this and it could be that. And then when you tie all those things up, you have a really good story.
A really good story. It's full of a lot of mystery to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is amazing. So now you've written, I don't know how many books. I'm trying to count them while you were
Well, I
talking.
wrote down between so I have had another website, and I did have written some picture books. I've written young adult books, so that's 4, 5, 6, 13.
13 books.
Mhm.
Woo! That's a lot. That's a lot of books. I've only written one, so I can imagine writing 13. You
It's
made my
it,
head spin.
you finish one and get started with the next.
And that's what I've heard. Don't, like I took a big break because my book was published in 2012. So I just haven't had chance to do it, but to see you constantly, going back into it, I'm sure your family, how do you have time to write it?
I made time. In 2019, I decided, okay, this is what I want to do. And I'm working on my 2.0, and I keep saying my 2.0 is coming. But then I finally realized, no, my 2.0 is already here. I'm working my 2.0. So I want to make it the thing that I do when I retire early.
Okay.
So
Because I was
it
about to, I was about to ask now, what is a 2.0?
the next phase of me.
The next phase. Okay. Okay. Because we got a lot of catchphrases out here now. Some of them I'm familiar with, and some of them
Yeah.
like, okay, get me on to what that means. So, okay. All
It's just
right.
thing, the next me, next part of me.
Next phase of life. Got it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I also see you got pages on, let's see, Twitter. I'm just gonna share your links with the audience for those who do not know how to reach you. Or and there's your website, ellenrichardson.com. Follow her on Facebook, and this is her blog information, ellenrichardson.com/blog. She's also on Instagram at l.m.richardson.
Yes.
And also, again, here is her Amazon link to her page. If you guys are, just want to see a list of all her books, all her work. What is next for you, Latanya? Are
Just
you going to take,
go
go
ahead. I'm
ahead,
sorry.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, are you going to take one of your books and make it into a stage play? That was going to be my next question.
Ooh, I hadn't even thought about that. I've just been so busy writing. So who knows, what itch I need to scratch next.
Mhm.
So I've just been concentrating on writing and keeping my mind open for the next, or what to write and how to write. Yeah.
And who are you? Are you doing the self publish? Are you publishing? You have a distribution deal, or
No,
you're independent?
it's me. I'm doing it all on my own. Yeah. And at one time I wanted to be traditionally published, and
Mhm.
I was querying and sending out letters about stories that I was writing. That was during my picture book days, early in my picture book days, and I realized I could do this myself, and so hired a, a illustrator, graphic
Mhm.
designer, and you know I was going to at that time I was part of SCBWI, which is Society of
Mhm.
Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, and I was
Mhm.
learning so much. I learned that the things that I didn't know, there are books, there are organizations,
Mhm.
even mentors. I've learned so much from other people, and not just books. And even the books, the story that came out today, and the one prior, is
Mhm.
romance. And I didn't just start writing romance. I have a mentor, I have a coach, and learn, and I read. So learning from other people, there's so much out there, to
Yeah,
learn. So I just want to keep learning as I write.
me too. And that is so good. Because in order to be the best at what you do, we have to keep learning, have to keep growing and perfecting ourselves. It's so true.
Hmm.
There's the app Clubhouse. Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are active on there. Can they find you on Clubhouse? Do you do chat rooms?
I tried it. I have a
Hmm.
profile on Clubhouse, but I'm just not. I've even taken the app off my phone. More than I. It was more than I was willing to keep up with right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was interested in listening to other people, but it was just too much. So I'm sticking to what's TLC, sticking to the lakes and rivers I'm used to.
Yeah. I get it. I so get it. Well, that is wonderful. You're doing great with what you're doing. Sometimes we can't have too much on our plates, so I
Yes.
do get it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So your students that you teach, are they aware that they are amongst so much greatness when they're in your class? Do they know?
I don't know. I think most of my former students know that I write, and I think, and I mentioned it to my current students, every now and then, but
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I don't think they
They don't
really
quite
know.
get it yet.
Yeah, I don't think they know, that I'm a writer in
Hmm.
publishing. And a few times I might throw it out there, in not just to say it, but in
Hmm.
making an example of something, during class. And I
Hmm.
might say, or because I don't follow my students on social media. Every now and then I might come across them, but I don't necessarily follow them. And I don't mind them following me on like Instagram, and well, even I have a Facebook account that they can follow me on. I do have a personal Facebook that I don't allow students to follow me on, and I don't follow them. But if they find me on social media, that's fine. The ones that I don't like, Instagram, Twitter, because I'm very intentional in what I put out there to not end up being fired. So
Right.
everything is I mean, when I say I am intentional, everything is even on my private pages. And I know that social media is not private, or should I say my personal pages, because they're not private. Um, I'm intentional of what I put out there, from even the pictures of my family that I share. But on my personal Facebook, I share more things with about my family that
Hmm.
I don't my students aren't privy to. So, but like I said, I'm very intentional from everything that I put out. Everything.
Everything.
I
I
don't
get
slip
it.
up and make a post about anything ever.
Right. And that's how I am. I'm very intentional on what I post. It's not like, oops, I forgot or accident.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I can relate. Yeah.
Because I know
I,
that, even though I don't seek to follow my students, sometimes they find me accidentally because I am friends with maybe a few or
mhm,
past students, and I
mhm.
like to keep up with my former students. I mean, I have some students who are doing some amazing things, and I like to see what they're doing. And so, like Miss UAPB, if I might follow, Miss UAPB, and then so if I um, like something, I try not to comment on too many students' things. So, but if they see that I like something, then they might, come back and see what I'm doing in return. But like I
Yeah.
said, I'm very, very, very intentional.
I do get it. I get it. I had the honor to come to one of your classes. You guys invited me to speak at
Mm.
Career Day for the communications department back in it was April of 2018, and I
Okay.
can't thank you enough for allowing me to
We
come
and
out.
we really enjoyed you. We really enjoyed you, and I'll be glad when we can do that again.
Well, yeah, I would love to come back. I would. I'd like to do more. I'd like to get more back to the university, be more involved in, my alma mater. I'd like to, I guess I'll do brainstorm and see how I can connect with you
Yeah.
guys again on that.
Even
Hmm.
if we did it via, Zoom or something like that, we can make
Yes,
it happen.
we can make it happen. You can even feature them on one of the shows if you want.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
we could do something like that, a classroom setting. And I'm thinking about offering like an academic scholarship for those who are taking classes in that department.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess maybe we can talk later on how to connect on
Yeah.
that.
Because the next
Yes,
semester is fastly approaching.
yes. So I'd like that to be like an ongoing tradition. Yeah. So I've been thinking about that more and more and more. So, Latanya, you've been a beauty and a pleasure to talk with. Our time is just about running out. So, is there anything, any last words, words of wisdom you want to share, or do you have any announcements about your upcoming events?
Well, I have the third installment of this series is a second chance series. The next
Mhm.
book will be releasing before um, New Year's. So
Years.
that's
Really?
one was around Thanksgiving. These are holiday romance. So one was
Yeah.
around Thanksgiving slash Friendsgiving. The one out today is around about Christmas time, and so the next one
Mhm.
will be around New Year's. The story centered around New Year's.
Oh, that's amazing. I like how you kind of did this like a chronological, holiday event
Hmm.
type. Yeah, that is very creative, very
Yeah.
creative. And you guys, you don't want to miss, on all these releases, her new releases. You can go to Amazon.com. I'm sure you can just Google search, type in
Yeah.
Google, the name. You can
And
just,
if they search for me on Amazon, it's L.M. Richardson. I forgot to mention that. I write on the pen name, L.M. Richardson.
Mhm. Ellen Richardson. Let me go back to that. I know he had placed it here, the Amazon link. You can see it in the description there. That
Hmm.
Ellen, yeah, Ellen Richardson.
Hmm.
You guys can copy it down real quick.
A
But we
screenshot.
really, yeah. So it's almost Christmas. Well, Christmas Day now. We'll say that because by the time this show airs. But
Oh,
what is your wish before we go? Do you can already know what you're getting for Christmas?
I'm sure my kids will give me something, but I'm not really. It doesn't matter. What I'm looking forward to is just spending time with my children and my grandchildren, and have even my sister and her family are coming, and my parents. What I realized during the pandemic that I mean, I always knew life is short, and you hear phrase from the Bible, that our lives is nothing more than a vapor, and it has really hit home during the pandemic. And there are a lot of people who are not here that started out in 2020, from and even prior to that. And it just makes me realize every time we hear of someone else passing that, we have to live each day like it's our last, and enjoy the people, in our hearts, our family, our friends, and then even our friends that are family, that we consider family, because we don't know when, the last time that we'll see them. So I just want to be present, when I'm with those people that I love, and be kind, to not just, my family, but other people, so that when we're no longer here and they speak of, me, I want to be spoke of in a good way. And there was I think a post that I'm actually going to make today, that one of the things I want to be remembered. There was a lady, several years ago, that I was a part of a community called Blogalicious when I was blogging full time, and I attended several of their conferences. And there was a lady who, she had gotten sick and she had cancer, and one of the things she posted on social media, that she wanted to be remembered. That was one of her fears, that she'd be forgotten. And when people ask me why I write, that's one of the reasons why I write, not just to want to fulfill the need to write for me, but I want to leave a mark, an account that I was here.
You were here. That is so good. That is so important. Yes, you don't, like the Clark sisters just to say in one of their songs, you don't want your living to be in vain.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I get it. I get it. We've had a great time, everyone, speaking with author, educator LaTanya Richardson out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, UAPB graduate, HBCU graduate.
Yes.
We love you, LaTanya. Keep it up. Congratulations. All your success. Merry Christmas. And we'll see you guys. You are very welcome. And oh, I forgot to mention, I know we ran out of time, but aren't you a Delta?
Yes, I am.
So you might want to say something, I don't know, to your sorrows. All right. We had to get that in there. Thank you guys again for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Bring It in the House.